Today we will do another answer key from the book Treasures of English for class 8th. This is Unit 6, Section 1, The Day of the Bare Feet. Let's see the answer key. Answer orally. The thought of an Indian team reaching the final of the tournament was dismissed as pure fantasy because the Shield had been more or less dominated by British teams. Moreover, a myth had been born that the British teams were impossible to beat. Indian teams had very limited success at that time. Multiple choice questions. Number 1, answer part B. To watch the football match. For second, answer is part D. They felt that this allowed a better feel of the football. For third one, part A. Shibdas Bhadoris. For fourth, answer is part A. Flying colorful kites, black for a goal by the Britishers and green and maroon for a goal by Indians. Read and answer. Number 1. The myth that was associated with the sport football was that it was impossible to defeat the British teams. Number 2. The win of the Mohun Bagan team by thrashing a British team 3-0 was like a blow to the British ego, who by far shared a reputation of being the superior counterparts known for wearing white shoes. It was a big victory for an Indian team which qualified to reach the final of the IFA Shield to everybody's surprise. So it was clear that cracks were appearing in the myth of football Goras being superior. Boot ball Goras being superior. Number 3, part A. The remark passed by the British official was that if that was a kind of reaction people would give for winning the IFA Shield, they might have to leave the country if the Indian team won a second time. Part B. He said this looking at the celebration that followed the Mohun Bagan's victory. Part C. The remark eventually turned out to be true as Mohun Bagan won the IFA Shield again in 1947 and the Britishers had to leave the country the same year. Number 4. The Indian players played bare feet because they felt that this allowed them to get a better feel of the football. Their opponents appeared immaculately turned out, while they themselves were just scrupulous. But these barefoot footballers had made cracks appear in the myth of the Bootwala Goras by reaching the final of the IFA Shield by thrashing a British team 3-0. Number 5. He did not know how right he was. These words signify that Mohun Bagan won the IFA Shield again in 1947. While a diplomat remarked, if this is the kind of reaction they are winning the Shield one gets, we might as well have to leave the country when they win it a second time. Next exercise, think and answer. Number 1. The football match described here was played on July 29, 1911 when India was under the British rule. It was going to be a meeting between a club of a ruled country, that is the Indian team Mohun Bagan, and a club, that is the Middlesex regiment that represented the rulers of India, the Britishers. This is what the writer implies by ruled country and a club that represented its rulers. Number 2. Yes, flying colored kites for scores was a good idea. This certainly increased the excitement among the spectators. They became more anxious to know the final outcome of the football match. Reference to context. Part A. These are the words of a diplomat. Part B. There refers to the Indian football team Mohun Bagan. Part C. There was a roar that followed the goal that could be heard miles away, and the sky turned maroon and green with kites, and great celebration followed the victory. Part D. The speaker said this when Mohun Bagan won the IFA Shield and when there were great celebration all around. Word quiz answer part B active. Hot questions. The stadium had a wave of excitement, joy, nervousness, and admiration as well for the players of the Indian team. Yes, the feeling of love was for the game and patriotism. Very often the feeling of patriotism is involved in any game whatsoever. During this particular match, the Indians were eager to see Mohun Bagan win and defeat the British team considered as superior. It also shows that Indians were oppressed and fought against all odds to come out victorious and make their motherland proud. Next exercise, talk. Part A, student will enact the role play under the guidance of their teacher. Part B, the teacher may encourage the student to participate and use clues given here. The match begins at 12 am sharp. The two teams, Mohun Bagan and the East Yorkshire Regiment Stadium packed. British team immaculate. Indian team bare feet in maroon and green shirts. East Yorkshire is leading. Jackson, the captain, scored from a free kick. Shibdaz Bahaduri has kicked the ball into the goal. 3 minutes are left. Appears that it will be a draw. Shibdad Bhaduri has spotted a gap in the British defence and has scored a goal again. Has won the IFA Shield. Maroon and green kites in the sky. Indian team. Grammar part A. Number 1. That is exactly the conclusion we arrived at. Number 2. She asked for some money. Number 3. Please refer to the last page of your textbook. Number 4. Please explain what you think about it. Number 5. I depend a lot on my parents. Part B. It was then that Shibdas Bhaduri decided to take matters in hand. The Mohan Bagan captain coolly strolled in front of the Yorkshire goal as if on a leisurely walk. What, however, terrified the British players was the fact that Bhaduri was not alone on this stroll. At his bare feet was a football. Before any of the English players could move in to tackle, Bhaduri let rip a shot of such power that no goalkeeper on earth could have saved it, let alone the man in the East Yorkshire goal. B word wise. Here, word synonym and antonym. Word mediocre, synonym average, antonym extraordinary. Word distraught, synonym agitated, antonym calm. Word intensive, synonym rigorous, antonym mild. That's all for this chapter. Thanks for watching Shab's English tutorials. Take care. Goodbye.